Okay, David. So today for our activity, we are going to count by twos, fives, and tens. Have you ever counted by twos, fives, and tens? You have? Okay. I'm gonna give you some marbles, and I want you to count. How many marbles do you think there are?
Five.
5. Okay. How many do you have there? Here, you can put it on my hand. 10.
15.
15.
20.
20. So there's 20 marbles. You did a good job. You counted them by 5, I see. You did 5, 10, 15, 20. A lot of people would just count one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you counted them by 5. Great job. So counting by twos, fives, and tens makes it easier to count things like marbles, or if you have toys and you want to count them, it's faster to count them by twos, fives, and tens instead of just counting one by one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So you did a great job with the marbles. And now, what do they have in common? What does it end with? Do you see the number that they end with? 0. So that's a pattern. So every time you count by tens, the number is going to have a 0. So 10 has a 0, 20, 30, and so forth. So you counted by tens. You did a great job. So now, how about you want to highlight the tens, 20, 30? Okay. Just so we know, we remember. Great job. So now we can count by fives. So when you count by fives, we would start with the number 5, and we can use a different color. We can use, what color would you like? Do you like red, blue? We'll use this one. Okay, we'll start by 5. And then do you know what number? Oh, that's too dark. What number would go next? So we're counting by fives. So it's 5. And then
10.
10.
15. 20.
20.
25. 30. 35. 70. 75. 80. 85. 90. 95.
100. Okay, so now that we counted by 5, let's look at the pattern that these numbers have. So what patterns do you see between these numbers?
There's 5 in the first row.
There is. All these numbers in the first row end in 5s. And then you can see the same way, like when we counted by 10, when you count by 5s, you also have these numbers, 10, 20, 30. Great job. You noticed that pattern. So now let's count by 2s. Have you counted by 2s? Okay. So let's use a different number for that one. When we count by 2s, we start with the number 2. Okay. So then what number would we highlight next?
4.
4. You see a pattern between here? We're skipping one number in the middle. So we did 2, we skipped 3, we highlighted 4, and then what number should we skip?
13.
13. So here's 4. We should skip 5, right? Because 5 is not multiple of 2. So it's 4, 6,
8.
8,
10.
10. There you go.
12.
12.
14.
We're skipping 1. 1, 14, skip a number, and then it's 16. Yeah. Skip 17.
18.
Mm-hmm.
20.
20. And that's counting by twos. We count it from 1 to 20 by twos. And so you see the pattern here? So this row, you think all this row would be highlighted when we skip by twos? You would highlight all this. You highlight all that. And then what row would we highlight?
The second row.
The second row. You want to do it? Okay, go ahead. 24, 30. There you go. So all these numbers would be multiples of 2 when you're counting by 2. We do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so forth, all the way to 100. And so do you notice the pattern when we count by twos? We can count by twos to get to 10. And then count by fives to get to 10 also. So all counting by all those numbers is an easier way to count things. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to give you some objects and you're going to find the total of the objects. How many there are. And I have, okay, so I have a sheet for you and I'm going to give you some Legos. And I'm going to give you some cups. So what you would do is, for example, for the Legos, we're going to count by fives. So we would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in one cup. And we're going to get another cup, put 5, 5 until all of these are gone. Okay? And then we're going to count by fives and see how the total is. Okay, so you're almost done. Okay, great job. So look at all the cups you filled up with Legos. So now what we're gonna do? So how many Legos did you put in each cup?
5.
5. Okay, so now there's so many cups, but this makes it easier to count all the Legos instead of counting one by one. That would take a long time. So what we would do is start counting. One cup would be 5. Then the next one would be 10.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 90, 95, 100, 105.
If you need help, there's a chart. So you're 105. So what would be next if we're counting by fives? So 105, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far we have 105. And then we have 5 more in another cup. So let's count. 105, 106, 107,
108, 109,
110, 110.
100.
Yeah, 110. So it's 110, and then we have one more cup of fives. So let's count 5 more. From 110 would be, what's next?
100. 110,
110, 111,
112, 113, 115.
15. We have 115. So we counted all the cups, and in the end, you figured out that there's
115
Legos. That's a lot of Legos, huh? But it made it easier to count the cups by 5 than just counting all the Legos by 1. Okay, so now you did a great job. And you can use the chart, the 120 chart, to help you if you need. Okay? than a 20, more than 100. So now that you counted the Legos, on the worksheet that I gave you, it says how many Legos are there in total. So right here on the line, you would have to write the total Legos you counted. So how many did we count?
115.
115. So then you would write here 115. Awesome. Okay. So if you wanted to show on the paper how many Legos there were, instead of drawing each Lego, we would draw, let's say, for example, circle. So each circle would be 5. So there's 5 here, so in cups. So then there would be 23 circles here, and each would be 5. So that's how we would show. You don't have to draw it for today. So now we're going to count how many pom-poms we have. So I filled up this plate with pom-poms. But instead of counting by 5, we're going to count it by 10. So counting by 10 is a little faster. Okay, so just like we did with the Legos, for the pom-poms you would count, except this time we're going to count by 10s. Okay? So you're going to fill up, again, the cups. Each cup's going to have 10. And then you would fill them, you would put them in the cup until there's no more pom-poms. So are you ready? Okay, let's start. So let's count by 10. And when you're counting by 10s, remember we said that if you count by 2s, you can get to 10 faster?
10.
10. Okay. So there's 10.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Here, put them in the cup as you go so they don't fall. How many is that? Should this count? It's okay. Here, let me show you. Instead of counting by one by one, we can do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And that was faster than counting one by one. So you already have one cup filled. So you can keep doing those for the rest.
4.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to count by is by tens. And I know you counted by tens because you worked with these longs, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we can start out. How many cubes are in this one long?
10.
10. Okay, so here we have a 100 number chart, and we can put the first long on the first row, and that is
10.
10. So what happens if I put another one? How many would that be?
20.
20. We keep going.
30.
30.
40. 50.
Do you want to keep adding it? 50. 60. Okay. 60.
70.
70.
80. 90.
100. Great job. You counted all the way to 100 by tens. So here we have 100 cubes. And when you look at the 10, 20, 30, 40, do you notice a pattern?
Okay, so you counted all the pom-poms by 10. You did a great job. So when you were counting the pom-poms by 10, what did you count for to help you count faster?
2.
By 2s. And I saw you were counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 to fill one cup up, and then you moved to the next one. Wasn't that faster? Okay, you did a great job. So now, for the second question, it says, how many pom-poms are there in total? So now, what do we have to do to count all the pom-poms? Each Each cup has how many?
10.
10. So, how would you count the cup?
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Mm-hmm.
111.
Okay, so you're here, 100. What's next? How many, what number would be next when you count 10?
110.
Mm-hmm. 110 and?
120.
120. Great job. So on the line you would write right here. How many pom-poms in total?
120.
Yes. Great job. And you did a great job, Dad. So what you were able to do today was count the total number of different objects by 2s, 5s, and 10s, and you did really well. Very proud of you. Give me 5.